Hey, it's Doom, and we're back here in the 3.5 Monster Manual. What a tube. And we're on the Displacer Beast. He looks like that. Ours doesn't. Ours looks like this. It's similar. So anyways, we're going to start out with white. We're going to dry brush this dude all over until we get a different look. And this is where we're going to see all the spots that we did a bad job with the glue. Yep. Nailed it. Bad spots with the glue, as I predicted. Now, if you're not doing this in a video format and you have time, after you hit him that first time with the black, you got time to work, right? Take advantage of that. Come back, do some cleanup, make him look a little nicer. You know what I mean? Or her. This could be a her, right? Could be. We don't know. I didn't check. Now my underside here is coming loose. So let me get him back in place a little bit. Or her. Again, could be a female. God darn it. Spider webs everywhere, y'all. Okay. Alright, for now, let's just worry about getting them covered. And I'll get them back on the base before we get to the next part. Okay. Let's wash this brush out because I have too much black from where I didn't dry him after I base coated him. So I hit him with a primer, a black primer. And then I hit him with a really light coat of watered down black paint. And then hit him with a blow dryer thinking, oh, that'll do what I want. But it did not. Okay. Okay. You pecker. Spider webs. Alright. So, he's going to be purple. So we can either do a dark purple and dry brush him down, which we're kind of past that point because where we're at. We can use a washer, we can use a speed paint. Do I even own a purple speed paint? I do. Purple Alchemy. Let's use a speed paint. So So we want to hit him with a little bit of hot air on low heat to make sure that white is dry. And then we want to get kind of a thicker brush that's going to give us a lot of coverage. Purple Alchemy. I wonder how dark or light this is. Oh, it looks like it's going to be a lighter color maybe. I don't know. I think I've used it once or twice. Oh, it's more of a magenta than a purple, I would say. Okay. Well, let's go with it now that we're here. So let's say you bought 2 bags of cats. And you used a bunch of the cats. Say there's 10 cats in the bag and they're $1.25. So we're saying they're 13 cents a cat. Really? And I've used several cats out of that bag for other stuff like the Bahir and other things, I'm sure. So if you're thinking about price-wise, making your own minis is generally a lot cheaper. Let's say we paid 26 cents for that. Buy an STL for 26 cents, please. Show me that. I mean, you're not going to beat that. Yeah, this isn't as good as some of the Displacers I have upstairs. It's about the same as one I made several years ago. In a similar fashion. As a matter of fact, after we get this purple on here, it's nearby. I'll grab it. I'm just looking for white spots I missed. Looks like I got everything. Set them off to the side. Let's look for that displacer I had. Oh, here we go. So this is one that I made a couple years ago, maybe 5-6 years back, so more than a couple. And this is just one I made out of a tiger. And on that one, remember I talked about cutting the front legs off and just mounting them? It's kind of what I did. And it turned into an unholy mess. But in the end, I just needed a displacer beast, and I didn't have one at the time. My Mrs. Doom and I were very, very struggling. We had, 2 teenage kids and 2 boys on the way, and there just wasn't money for a lot of that kind of stuff. And I'm sure some of you can identify with you. Some of you might not be able to. And I've always been kind of embarrassed of being poor, like in my lifetime. My parents always worked really hard, and we had everything we needed, and we didn't seem to be suffering too much as far as I could tell. And then I come out into the world and, get a divorce right off the bat. I didn't want one, but I got one. And every decision I made just seemed to make me poor. It took me some years to figure out where I belonged and what I was supposed to be doing. But I got there. So we got to let this sit before we can really do much more with them. I want to do some like yellow eyes, and I want to paint the base. But we got to let some of this, well, we can hit them with the hot air gun. That's not quite the color of purple I wanted for sure. But it's whatevs. Alright, let's get some brown and do his base. This is burnt umber. It's a apple barrel Walmart kind of deal here. It's super cheapy. I think my Displacer Beast is a Dungeon Swag Displacer Beast that I use as my main one, because I just have one up there on the shelf. I have a couple other ones in a box, but I think my main Displacer Beast that I have out on display is a Dungeon Swag one. And we actually used it Saturday night. My party fought a group of 2 adult Displacer Beasts, and they had 8 kittens. And the kittens weren't really in the fight, but anytime a kitten were hurt or threatened in any way, it was making the adults rage. Okay, I think we got that mostly brown there. Let's get a lighter brown. Something mid-tone. This is called dark chocolate or melted chocolate or something. I use a lot. Melted chocolate. And all I'm doing is getting my brush wet. Getting a little bit of that. I'm just mixing it in around with what we've already done. Not everywhere, just in some spots. Dirt's not all one color, and we know that. Okay. This is pavement, my favorite color in the whole world. But before we use the pavement, I'm going to hit this. Okay. I really don't like this color purple. I'm just painting my rocks. I call it like a fantasy aesthetic, like, you know, rocks just sitting on the ground on dirt are not necessarily going to be some kind of dark gray with a light gray, you know, highlight. I call it fantasy aesthetic. Basically, I'm just taking something to make it look classic enough to represent what it's supposed to be, but almost in a fairy tale way. And I've not coined the term, but I've started using the term fantasy aesthetic. That way, if you have ultra-realistic stuff on the table, like maybe you bought something or were given something, or if you have kind of cartoony stuff on the table, like a failed craft or whatever, you can kind of make it all work together with this fantasy aesthetic thing. And if you try to baseline a lot of your stuff somewhere in the middle, it'll tie the rest of that stuff in. Hit him with air again real quick. And this is not a real dry brush. We're just grabbing the top parts to make it look a little different. Now, like I said, I'm not real happy with that purple. I'd like it to be a little more bluish purple. I don't know what to do there. I really don't. All right. Here's the deal. This is called Purple Pansy by Apple Barrel. Some more garbage paint. Let's try something. All right. Let's just hit some of the spots I really dislike a lot. Some of this purple pansy. Let's see if that somewhat changes the aesthetic of this dude. Or do that. Okay, I already like that significantly better. Okay. All right, let's set this off to the side. Grab a lighter purple. This lighter purple appears to be called Concord Grape. Let's get rid of that brush. Let's hit this guy with a +2 hot air gun and burn him. Let's get a makeup brush. Do I have another one? I have a bunch. Can't find any. Here we go. Can't grab it. This is just a real cheap makeup brush from Dollar Tree. This color is called Concord Grape. I'm just going to bring him up to a more of a bluish kind of purple like I wanted. Was that? There are some miniatures that I think just using a purchased one or a printed one is generally just better. And I'll tell you what, doing like a humanoid, it's just better usually than trying to make one from scratch. Though there are some nice conversions you can do. I've done some myself from like HeroClix and Mage Knights and Planeswalkers and stuff. There are conversions you can do besides using official minis that are very nice. I'm not saying there aren't. But what I am saying is something like this guy, maybe just spring a couple bucks to get one or whatever you got to do to get one, because homemaking one of these, it never looks as skinny and gross as it naturally should. Even my one from Dungeon Swag, which is super nice, is not as skinny and gross as the picture in the book. All right, let's hit him with some hot air. Let's do something with those eyes. So I'm getting a really small brush and some off-white paint. Then I hit that with the air gun. Then I'm going to get a fractional brush. kind of a dismal glow there. Then I'm going to get some white. Hit him with a +2 hot air gun in the eyes. Okay. Still using my fractional brush. I'm going to get that Concord. And I'm going to go under his eye on both sides first. Then I'm going to close up and make that so it doesn't have any weird shape adds. I'm just doing this with this really tiny fractional brush just to clean up the shape of his eye a little bit. I'm going to drag it down in his tear ducts a little bit. All right. I'm cleaning my brush. I do use my mouth on my good brushes and my small brushes. I do not use it on my big makeup brushes because I'd just be at that point eating paint like a Marine. Okay, let's get a little bit of this clear glue. Boop. Got a toothpick here. I got a bunch of toothpick parts laying around. Nice. Smear that around. You could use a cheapy brush to do this same thing, or a little piece of cardstock. I use whatever I just kind of feel like grabbing most of the time. If you watch me at all, you'll see that I just kind of randomly do things differently at different times. There is a reason I do that. Believe it or not, there's a method to it. My thought is this: we don't all have the same stuff, and we don't all have the same styles. There's a ton of different ways you can do stuff. I've gotten pretty lazy about painting on these things for the most part, using speed paint a lot. We'll see that sometimes that is not the answer. Like today, I did not have the right color of speed paint for the job, and I made extra work for us. But many times, I try to swap out what kind of materials I'm using because we all, like I said, have different stuff. All right, so that's the displacer we came up with. It's nothing too spectacular or fancy, but if you don't have a displacer and you can't get one, this costs you a couple cents to make, and you can make it nice. You know, it's not beautiful. You can't tell it's a displacer. Oh yeah, you can tell it's a displacer. I shouldn't say that. But it's not perfect. No, not by any means. And my friend Sam and I have both made displacers. Here's one that he made. And obviously it's way better than my first attempt. And here's the one we made today. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit subscribe, like, share, comment, notification icon. Whatever YouTube stuff that helps me, please do that. I would appreciate it. I also want to tell you, thank you so much for choosing to watch my videos. I know there are a ton of videos out there, people like Miniac and Miniature Mashup, and just amazing channels that I love. Craft and Ron at Seawolf's Den. I mean, there's a ton of great channels out there. Dan does, Bill Making stuff. I can't even go through a list of the people that I just enjoy. They don't do the exact same things I do, but I'm still interested in what they're doing. Or I like their personalities. That's one of my big things. Like Craft and Ron, like his personality is just super chill. So if you just want to like relax and like you're playing video games or something, you want to listen to some YouTube, listen to somebody talking about stuff or whatever, you know, there's certain people you just enjoy. So that's how I am. Well, anyways, there's so much out there to watch, way more than even what I watch. And so I want to thank you guys for taking the time to check out my channel. And we'll see you next time. I think the next thing we're getting into is the doppelganger. So that's going to be a pretty basic one. So see you then. And go check out the website, buy some miniatures from us. We'd love that. That'd be super good. And get a free miniature if you want. Discord has a thing about it. So thanks for watching. Have a nice day.